Union, New Jersey, Orlando, Florida, San Diego, California, Tampa, Florida, Gabon, Central Africa, the Republic of Georgia. Thank you all so much for taking the time today, wherever you are, to join us or for this conversation on utilizing interns to benefit your organization. Everyone is on mute, but we do anticipate and encourage participation with all of our webcasts. So there is a chat function that you can use to chat us if you have a question, or there's a Q&A function, of course, that is part of the Zoom system. So feel free at any point in time during the presentation to post a question, and we will make sure we get to your question during the Q&A section. So with that, I want to start with just a kind of a reminder of who we are and what we do. We're here at the World Federation of Youth Clubs, and our mission is to develop and enhance global youth organizations that provide a positive environment and space for young people around the world. That is our mission. And we do that in a number of ways through a number of different resources. Those are, of course, our partnerships, which are vital to the success of the World Federation of Youth Clubs, our partnerships and our collaborators for good. Our most important and often utilized resource is the sort of the highly coveted one-on-one personalized support and consultation that our affiliate members receive from Glenn and Jose. And coming soon is going to be the revamped World Federation website, which will allow all of our members to engage and network with each other through that virtual community. And of course, what we're doing today, and that's with today's webcast. So just a reminder of who we are and the resources you have available through the World Federation. So today's agenda, obviously some opening remarks, a little housekeeping. We're going to introduce our speakers in the session, and then we're going to have a moderated Q&A that I will facilitate, and you'll have an opportunity to probe further with both Katsumi and with Paul, and then we'll close things out. But before we get started, it's really, really important that we test our check-in, okay? So we have a little icebreaker, okay? So this is an exercise for everyone. So what's something that's been helping you get through these uncertain times? It could be a pet, it could be going for a walk, it could be family and friends. I want to test this chat feature, and I'm going to encourage you right now just to quickly chat to us. What's the thing that's helping you get through these difficult times? I got to be honest with you, it's probably all three of those things for me. It's my pet, it's taking a walk or a bike ride, relieving some stress, and then of course, spending time with family and friends. So that's our little chat check-in. Feel free to chat away.
Mark, we do have some fun responses. We have cycling, dogs, husband, friends, connecting with family and friends, and wine even. I agree with that.
Oh, well, you know what? I should have put a picture of wine on. I should have done that, Libby, but yes, a good choice. A very good choice. So thank you all for providing and participating in our little icebreaker. There's one of the stress relievers for me, those opportunities for me to kind of break away, and that's I'm doing this ongoing dog sitting experience for my daughter, and that's a little Sadie Mae. So I get to spend time with her often. So in terms of the setup here for the session, I'm super excited to have our guest speakers be able to share their expertise and insights with you around using interns. I'll be honest with you, it's often an overlooked resource that organizations don't tap into enough. And it's important that you plan accordingly. You have to plan, and you have to have partnerships that allow you to take advantage of this important kind of workforce resource to help your organization and ultimately help these young people enter into the workspace. And so we're excited. Think about throughout this presentation, what jumps out at you in terms of, are you ready to embrace and accept interns into your organization? And if you're not, what are some of the things you can be doing and thinking about to address those needs? So with that, let me introduce our speakers, and then we're going to have a interactive session between Katsumi and Paul, but to the proper introduction first. So Katsumi Kishida has over 15 years of experience in the field of international education. She currently is working as a managing assistant director at the Center for International Studies at Kane University. Growing up in both Japan and the United States, she knew early on that she wanted to work with the international community as a career. Katsumi was also an F1 student herself while doing her master's degree in international education at Teachers College at Columbia University. So she understands the challenges and the joys international students face when studying abroad. Joining her is Paul Casey. Paul has more than 20 years of experience in nonprofit and higher education leadership. Paul spent more than 13 years with Boys and Girls Clubs, including 5 years as the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Garfield in New Jersey. He is currently the Assistant Director of Internships for Kane University, Office of Career Services. And in this role, Paul works closely with Kane University students and employers to help support student success while meeting the recruiting needs of employers. So now to our presentation.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session. My name is Katsumi Kishida, and I'm the Managing Assistant Director at Center for International Studies. I help our Cane USA students with study abroad, as well as welcome international students to our Cane campus here in the United States. And here with me today is Paul.
Hello, everyone with the World Federation of Youth Clubs. My name is Paul Casey. I'm so happy to welcome you today. I'm the Assistant Director of Internships for the Office of Career Services. But prior to coming to Kane and working with our wonderful students here at Kane University, I was the CEO for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Garfield, and we've been working with Boys and Girls Clubs for 15 years prior to coming to Kane. So very familiar with all the great work that you do with all the affiliates with the World Federation of Youth Clubs throughout the world. So we're excited to present to you today and look forward to getting right into it.
Great. So to start us off, we are going to introduce our university through our Welcome to Kane video.
I hope you join us here at Kane and see for yourself where a world-class education can take you.
Welcome to Cane.
欢迎来到肯恩大学。
Welcome to Cane. Maligayang pagdating sa Cane.
Welcome to Cane.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Fadlu na Cane.
Welcome to Cane.
Bienvenidos sa Cane.
Welcome to Cane.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. So here at Kane University, we have a very unique structure where Center for International Studies and Career Services is under one team. And here are some of our coworkers listed here. Our Career Services team is led by Jessica Barzilai, who is our director. Okay, so let's get into our agenda for today. So we will first go over benefits of internships, and then we'll talk a little bit about virtual internships, benefits of hiring Kane University internships, some of the logistics, and then at the end, we will go over next steps.
So virtual internships really do give employers a really great opportunity to provide Kane University and really any students with great out-of-classroom work experience and an opportunity to really develop the skills that students and the workplace need. Students take the opportunity to develop, skills like communication, collaboration, adaptability, things like that that really help to develop that experience that isn't necessarily the hard skills that students may learn in a classroom, but more some of those essential skills that are critical to being successful in the workplace. And it really has opened up doors for students to do work with companies around the country and the world. We've had a student this past semester who did an internship in California, Kane, based in Union, New Jersey. The student now is doing the internship in California and taking classes virtually at Kane. So virtual internships has really created opportunity. So out of this crisis that much of the world is dealing with COVID-19, virtual internships really have created an opportunity. And we really see an opportunity here today to work with the World Federation of Youth Clubs to create virtual internship opportunities for our students across the world through the partnership with the World Federation of Youth Clubs. Virtual internships can be project-based. It's not going to be students making copies or getting coffee. It's going to be students working on projects, doing market reports, maybe usability testing, social media management, things like that really can help you in your local affiliate. And internships really can be just as impactful as traditional in-person internships because of that project-based work and that experience that they're going to get with an employer like yours. And it really helps both the employer and the student develop global connections. So I want to give you a little bit of some background on internships here at Kane. Here's an example of a few students that we're going to share with you that have done internships at Kane and what kind of experiences that they had.
I am an intern at Mazars, which is an international accounting firm.
I had the opportunity to intern at Premier Stages here at Kane.
I'm an intern at Newark Museum. I'm currently in education and exhibition design.
I had the opportunity to be an intern at A Squad Rubber Radio, which is internet-based, and Magic 98.3.
I actually did a whole internship in China through Kane, and I interned with a company called OneHurt as a consultant. And then I did a marketing internship in New York about a year ago.
I got my first internship through Kane University's Career Service Center. I interned at the place that I work full-time now for the position that I shadowed under.
My goal is to become a certified public accountant, and Mazars is giving me the experience I need for that.
What was really great about my position at Premier was it gave me a very robust understanding of the arts management field, and that really helped me steer myself towards the parts of working for a theater company that I really enjoy.
Working at Newark Museum and my previous internship experience has allowed me to choose a career path for the future.
Being in an internship, I was able to do everything from promotions and events all the way to actually being behind the microphone. Having those two internships helped me really gear to what I want to become, which is program director.
My internship experience was very helpful for me. The duties that I had to do were really focused on building my skills, because some of the skills that I learned at that internship, it's not necessarily what you learn in the classroom.
Internships are inherently based in the education of the participant. Everything that you do is based on your career development and your learning and understanding of your job.
I think an internship is a great opportunity for a lot of people to put their knowledge into practice. That's experience on your resume, and that's something that all of your employers look at.
Through this internship, I think I was able to prove myself and show not only my skills, but my worth as a marketing coordinator. After interning for a few months, I was offered a full-time position.
As soon as I graduated, I sat down at the desk with the assistant news director. He was so intrigued about all my experience. And he said, "I like you. Welcome aboard."
The last couple days of my internship, one of the HR representatives called me into her office and she was like, "We would like to bring you on full time. Here's your offer letter. Think about it." But I knew right then and there this is where I wanted to be. I am an intern at Mazars, which is an international.
So we've made it pretty clear that students really can gain some valuable skills from doing an internship, and that they create opportunity for themselves, even getting employed after they do an internship with a company. But it's also important to recognize, what kind of benefits do employers get? So you, as the World Federation of Youth Clubs, you've got an affiliate, across the world, and we want to share with you that Interns really it's a strategy that really can help you develop fresh new ideas for your organization. Students that come, are at an age that are coming to you where their brains are still growing. So just because of that scientific fact, they're developing fresh new ideas and they give a fresh new perspective to your organization. They also, because of their age and growing up in the world of social media and with the technology and the phones, they really have this social ability that many of us who have been in the workforce for years don't have. So you can improve your social strategy through an internship opportunity with a student as well. It also helps to improve retention and recruitment. So we know that students that have done an internship have really been testing the waters with an employer, and that employer can kind of determine whether or not they'd be a good fit for the company, as opposed to bringing somebody in, hiring them. They spend a couple of months there, and then all of a sudden they decide that that's not for them. This is an opportunity for you to test out talent coming from Kane University, determine whether or not they might be a good fit for your organization down the road. It also allows people that are currently employed in your organization to serve as a mentor, and that really builds leadership and morale. Kane University, as mentioned in the video, is an incredibly diverse university. So employers really are working with Kane in order to enhance their diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. And then, it obviously is an extra set of hands for you as an employer to have an intern with your organization.
Great. Thank you, Paul. So engaging in international internships have become popular amongst US students in recent years for them to build their resume and gain international experience at the same time. During our current COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen an increase of US students engaging in virtual international internships. So you may be asking, why hire US students? Majority of US colleges and universities utilize a liberal arts education philosophy. During their degree, US students learn to communicate effectively, improve their critical thinking skills, gain interpersonal skills, and earn a well-rounded education. In addition, American education system from primary education emphasizes group work as well as critical thinking. Students are taught from a young age to be adaptive and flexible and are exposed to other beliefs and viewpoints. Also, your organization may need assistance from a native English speaker, as well as multilingual speakers. Majority of Kane University students are bilingual. Kane University students are also diverse and come from all different cultural backgrounds, so they practice cross-cultural communication on a daily basis. Today, we would like to highlight one of our unique programs we call our Global Practica program. This is a partnership with some of our partner institutions around the world, where we send our US students to participate in a consulting project at companies abroad. And this is part of their study abroad experience. Here's a quick video that highlights these initiatives, as well as some of the students and companies that have participated in this program.
Thanks to our strong relationship with international companies, the Global Business School at Kane University offers students the unique opportunity to do real work for real clients early in their academic careers.
All business is international business now. All business is global business. Not only are we sending Kane USA students to international companies, we are also welcoming international students to Kane USA and placing them with New York and New Jersey-based companies.
I heard about this 2-week internship that they had overseas where they require you to go work with a company, get some global consulting experience. And I thought that was perfect for my major.
One of the goals of the program is to teach us how to do industry research on how to work in a real-life work setting.
The 2 studies we designed were MBA level studies. These are studies that could have been commissioned out to major consulting firms, but we wanted to see how far they could stretch to get there. And we have to say that they came back and they nailed them.
不同的民族、不同的一些国家的习惯、特点，以及我们的学生。他可能也来自不同的国家，那么他们对本国的一些认识，以及做一个消费者他们的需求，这一些恰恰能够给我们带来一些很好的借鉴。
Getting the chance as a junior to go overseas and get the experience to work for a real company, not just in a classroom with a book, is unique.
You get to travel over to somewhere you may have probably never been, work in a professional environment, a company that's excited to have you, and build your abilities, but also see what you're capable of as a student.
Before leaving, I was very afraid. It's not easy leaving your comfort zone, but when you come back, you're going to be confident in yourself. You're going to grow. Your career is going to grow.
Thanks to our strong relationship with international.
So, that video really does give a nice example of how a partnership like the Global Practicum really can both help employers, but also help students. So I want to talk a little bit about why Cane Interns. So over the last year or so, we've really done some digging into the value that Kane University students are providing to employers. Cane interns are highly motivated students who are coming from a diverse background, and they're receiving a world-class education. So we see students coming from all kinds of different backgrounds, but the one thing that they have in common is that they're so highly motivated to be successful and to help an employer see success in the workplace as well. And as we looked and talked to employers, we got some feedback from them as well. And 98% of employers said that hosting a Kane University intern provided a great fit for their company. So students would participate in an internship for 3 months, then they do a survey, and they reported back to us that they were a great fit. And 99% of employers said that Kane University interns understood the company ethics and they really conducted themselves in a professional manner. So these are some of the same expectations that you can have of Kane University interns should you decide to recruit interns from Kane University. In addition to that, employers said that Kane interns were well prepared academically, and they really were collaborative in the way that they worked, and they really were able to contribute to the team environment that the employers had, and that they communicated well, and that they responded to feedback in a positive way. So if they was something that they needed to learn or that they weren't doing so well, they were able to make that adjustment and change in a way to continue to improve their work. Employers also reported that interns were able to be given a responsibility and take that task and take initiative to get it done. So it wasn't something that required a lot of supervision. Employers also reported that they were able, students and interns were able to grasp new knowledge, and it wasn't something that, it took, learning over and over and over again, that they were able to take these concepts and turn them into, solutions for the company, and that they really, as Katsumi talked about earlier, and students at Kane and students in the US really develop some of those, critical thinking skills, and that can be really critical to you as an employer as well. So our students at Kane University have a variety of options in regards to how they may want to do an internship. You can get paid for an internship, and you can get academic credit, or you can just get academic credit. So let me talk about that a little bit. So, students and employers, it's really up to them to make a decision on whether or not they're going to offer some kind of reimbursement or stipend or payment for the internship. Obviously, we encourage that, but we also understand that that's not possible for every employer. So one of the other benefits, if an employer can't pay an intern, is that students can receive academic credit for doing an internship also. So students at Kane have to achieve 120 credits in order to graduate, and they can earn up to 6 credits, which a 3-credit internship is 120 hours with a company, that they can earn up to 6 credits of that. So that's 2 120-hour internships. And if they determine that they can't do it for credit for one reason or another, whether they may be a double major or they don't have any free electives left, they also can put the credit for that hours that they've done on that internship on their co-curricular transcript. Internships, the logistics behind that, they usually last a semester. And the semesters, vary in regards to the time of year. So you've got fall semester, which is September to December. You've got spring semester, which is January to May. And you've got your summer semester that starts after the end of the spring semester in early June. And that is 2 8-week semesters. So that one, there's a little bit more flexibility for employers in that, we have some employers that will do a 12 or 14-week internship experience for students over the course of the summer. Others just decide to do internships for just the fall semester for the 16 weeks over the course of the fall or spring semester. So as you consider what your needs are and how Kane University students might be able to help your organization, thinking about what's going to work best for you is important. So is it something that you can do all year round? We have students that are available to support your work in the fall, spring, and summer. But again, thinking about what that looks like for you as the employer is really critical. And then regarding the expectations of an intern with your place of employment, Kane interns will follow the rules and regulations of your site. They are expected to come to work in a professional manner, be on time, prepared to work, even if that's a virtual environment. It's the same idea. We understand that, this is a little different and we're advocating for virtual internships right now, but that, in-person virtual, that really doesn't change. It'll be important that they understand that they can reach out to the supervisor here. So if they run into a challenge or something like that, they can come back to us and get feedback or support, as can you as the employer. While Kane interns are there to learn that and definitely get an educational benefit out of doing an internship, their ultimate goal in the internship is to support your work. They are going to have to carry out the tasks that are necessary to supporting your organization. So, think about the needs that you have as an organization, and that can help you design what an internship looks like. So, we have, as you saw, the majors that we have earlier in the presentation. It's marketing or communications. Maybe it's organizational development. Maybe it's fundraising. Maybe it's youth development. So there's a lot of different options of majors that we can tap into to get support for your company. In regards to expectations of you, it's important that you understand that, the environment has to be one that's very positive and supportive of the professional growth of the students. So free of any kind of discrimination or anything like that. Has to be an environment that is very conducive to learning. So, having somebody that can serve as a supervisor or a mentor and help that student grow is really important. So if there is a person that can be identified in your organization that's going to supervise intern, that is really critical to the overall success of the internship. When a student starts, you're going to notify them of the policies, their schedule, and any other pertinent information that might be necessary for them to know. If the performance of a student isn't going well, we would encourage you to really work with them and try to figure out how you can help them improve. But if that doesn't work, then you're going to be able to reach back out to their supervisor here at Kane in order to work through that. If for some reason it's really not working out, then you would work with us in order to figure out, whether or not that person is going to be able to stay and whether or not they need to be dismissed. But, that isn't something that we've seen happen often at all. I can tell you that in the last year, I can't say that it's happened a single time, but it's such something that is important for you to know that, if you're feeling like it's not working out, you can reach back out to Kane and us as the supervisors to, figure something out. From a evaluation standpoint, we ask the supervisor to complete up to 2 evaluations over the course of the internship. The other thing that we do at the beginning of an internship is that we have what's called an experiential learning agreement that is completed to connect Kane University, the student, and the employer. And that's something that you would just need to approve and provide information about the internship to us at Kane. And like I said, you'll be doing that 2 evaluations. So you'll do a midterm evaluation. So it'd be about halfway through a semester. So as I said, you've got the fall semester, the spring semester, and the summer semester. It would be about midway between the beginning and the end. And it's a time when you would be doing that evaluation. And it's an online evaluation. We would just send an email with the link to the evaluation. And you would complete that with the intern. And any dialogue that you can have with the student in order to help them understand the areas that they've done well, what they can grow in, that obviously is something that can be very helpful to the student during their internship experience.
Okay, so we hope that you are all excited to hire a Kane University virtual intern. So let's talk next steps. So how do I find interns? You can sign up for our online employment and internship portal. If it's easier to just email us, you can email us at career@kane.edu, and we'll certainly give you instructions on how to get started. Now, here is the first step would be to create a company profile on our portal. So go ahead and email us. I hope you're excited, and we look forward to matching you with a Kane intern. Thank you so much for joining us today for our session. We have various social media accounts. Please follow us through either Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or our Instagram to find out more about some of the great work that Career Services is doing. Paul, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't think so. I'm just so excited about this opportunity to work with all of you. There's with so many affiliates across the world that are doing great work for children in countries all over the world. It would be an honor and a pleasure for Kane University to support your work with Kane University interns. And I can tell you firsthand that our internships are doing a really great job with employers, and I'm very confident that they would contribute in a really positive way to your organization. So we're excited about this partnership, and we look forward to hearing from you all in regards to the next step and recruiting from Kane. And we look forward to answering any questions that you might have during the Q&A.
Okay, well, Paul and Katsumi, thank you very much for your remarks. And we're looking forward to jumping into the Q&A. But before we do that, I just want to go back and do a quick chat check-in. We have some great questions, so we're going to get to those immediately. But I'd love to hear from you. What were your biggest takeaways in terms of the presentation? And so as we start the Q&A, just consider this particular question. So, hi, Paul. Hi, Katsumi. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Terrific, terrific. Now, I have a few questions, but I'm going to jump in to some of the questions of our folks who are on the call. And we have roughly about 25 people or so from all around the world. So what great participation and attendance for today's session. Clearly, it's an important topic. So the first question is from Hannah. And Hannah writes, we are currently hosting an intern for an 80-hour placement. And as a host, they want to know what key questions they should be asking of their interns to ensure that they get the most out of that placement.
So I think that to some degree would depend upon the major of the student and their area of study and the university that they come from. So you want to do your best to align the work that they're doing with their area of study. So that, the first question really would be around, what their area of study is and what they're trying to achieve academically. And how can you align up those responsibilities that they may have in the internship with some of those academic goals, academic and career goals that they may have. And one of the questions that I ask students first when I ask them about pursuing an internship is, what are their career goals? And that really helps me to identify a way that I can support their growth in the place of employment. But then I also will ask them, well, tell me about your skills and background. How, what kind of experiences have you had, and how can you contribute to my organization? So you really want to try to make the matches beneficial for both the student and the organization as possible. And asking those kinds of questions really are critical.
Yep. Great, thanks, Paul. Katsumi, did you want to add to that at all?
No.
Okay. There are a couple of questions regarding language and what are required languages in terms of participation in the program for any interns. And then there was a question about bilingual. So are there any, what's the availability of bilingual English and Spanish interns, and how do we make that request? So we have two language related questions, one about what's required and availability of bilingual English and Spanish interns at your university.
I can definitely answer to the bilingual speakers at the university. So we have many Spanish, English bilingual speakers that study with us at Kane University, as well as other languages. So we do have international students that do come from all over the world. So if there is a particular language that you are looking for our intern to be bilingual in, definitely reach out to us about what your language needs are. We might not be able to find a particular student if just because there might not be a person that speaks that language, but in terms of Spanish and English, we have a lot of majority of our students, I would say, speak both Spanish and English.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And the other thing that I would mention is that you can put on when you do a job description for the internship, one of the you can put qualifications or requirements on the internship description. And if you add that to that, then students will know that those are the what skills or languages they may need to speak to do the internship.
Got it. Great. I have another question from Daniela. Is there a cost involved? And also, where can I find the majors that are offered at Kean University? So is there a cost? And where can I find majors that are offered there at Kane University?
So I just put a link to our university website that has the colleges and majors in it. So you can check out that website for all of the majors for Kane. In regards to a cost, that really is up to you as the employer on whether or not you want to include a cost for the intern. Of course, we encourage employers to have a stipend or a payment for the student interns, but it's not a requirement. We understand that in the different, certainly in a conversation like this one, the economies in different parts of the world are very different, and whether or not you have the resources to commit to paying an intern is something that's going to be individual to each company or organization. Our students are looking for opportunity and the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to build their skills and grow their career. So they understand, some of them understand that internships are not always going to be a paid internship. So we have students that are doing both paid and unpaid internships. There's a value in both, and we've seen students that have done an unpaid internship and have received a full-time job as a result of that internship. But we've seen the same thing happen in a paid internship. So it really does go both ways.
Okay, great. The next question is around, it's more general, Paul and Katsumi, in terms of finding interns in a local country. So you guys obviously have an established program, but if for some of our affiliate organizations who would like to work with a local educational institution, how do they go about finding intern opportunities in country? What would you recommend?
I would say, finding out if that university has a career services office, and if they, that would be the place to start at a local university, I would think. And then, if that doesn't exist in the university, maybe if student services, trying to find somebody within the university, to determine whether or not interns are an option at that local university would really be the place to start. We are often will get employers that are looking to recruit from Kane, reaching out directly to career services. And then, we kind of give them some of the same information that we've given you today in regards to, emailing us with a job description or signing up. We have a portal where we host all of our job descriptions and internships and things like that. So really getting in touch with your local university and asking them about recruiting for your organization would be the way to start.
I have a question, and I'm going to continue to get through the questions that are in the chat. I have a question, Paul and Katsumi, around timing, especially in the virtual setting that we now find ourselves with, which provides more opportunities to connect interns with employment opportunities. Usually in the past, there needs to be some coordination around semesters and things of that nature in partnership with the employer. Does the virtual environment provide more flexibility around timing of internships that don't necessarily have to align with a particular semester structure?
I think it does. For the most part, we've seen a continued alignment with the semesters, but like we're working with one partner who is, has created a 6-week internship opportunity that's going to be at the beginning of the spring semester. So we are seeing some changes to that, traditional structure of semesters, and we know that we have to be flexible for our students and employers in this time, because it's just, this is unprecedented adaptability is necessary in order to meet the needs of everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Another question that came up from one of our attendees is around French as a language. Any French-speaking students there at Kane?
Sure, I can take this question. I don't know any on top of my head, but we do offer French as a language classes at the university. So I'm sure there are ways that we can try to find a French speaker. But I would say majority of our students are Spanish and English bilingual.
Katsumi, I know at least one French speaker.
Oh, great.
Great. So how do you deal with the time zone differences? Obviously, with many of our affiliates that are around the world crossing multiple time zones, what are your suggestions in terms of utilization of interns that are in one particular time zone and then supporting an organization someplace else?
Right, absolutely. I can answer that. So we always advise to have a conversation at the very beginning of the working relationship about the different time zones that your staff and the interns are in, and really just acknowledging the fact that it can be challenging, right? So sometimes we sometimes advise that maybe even having an exercise with the team to brainstorm ahead of time to see what challenges might come up, right? Also agreeing that communication is vital to success, and establishing like a clear strategy around communication and project management is also important. So asking questions like, how would you be utilizing other platforms to communicate other than emails? What are you doing for your virtual meetings? And also, if an intern is to submit assignments, how would you like them submitted? Would you like them to submit through Google Drives, or would you like them to submit via email? So really establishing a clear strategy that our interns understand and are aware of at the very beginning is critically important. And also, working across time zones creates a new challenge, right, in terms of hosting a meeting. So obviously another important question is for all of us to ask is this meeting that I'm trying to set up really necessary, right? So sometimes maybe it doesn't have to be a meeting, especially if there's a big time difference. Maybe it can be done in an email, or maybe it can be done in a shared document, right? So, but if a meeting is necessary, then setting them up during crossover hours as much as possible, right? Again, it still may be very early in the morning for other staff members or very at the end of the day. And then also making sure to send an agenda before such meeting so that, you know, this is a valuable time that everybody has found that works for everybody. We want to make sure that, you know, right, it's the right things that are accomplished. So asking your interns or letting them know what they need to prepare in advance, right? Do you want them to provide data at those meetings, or do you want them to provide presentations, right? So that's also very important. Also, another thing is setting some rules also during virtual meetings can be helpful. So what I've learned is that many companies will have a standard that everybody turns on their camera during the meeting. So if you would like to do that, also communicating that early is also important. And I think maybe the most important thing is to make sure that interns and your staff have enough information to complete whatever project that you're asking, right? So obviously when we're working across different time zones, like asking a question, right, regarding a project in real time is really not available, right? You can't just walk across, or you can't just call somebody and be like, hey, I don't really understand this, right? So really for supervisors to ask if your intern has enough information, clarity, direction, and also access to things that they might need to do their work. So communicating what's expected of their project, and also setting very clear deadlines. That also includes like time zone references, right? Like I want this project due, you know, on Friday at noon, your time zone or my time zone, right? Because we've seen communications where students might be like, oh, I thought it was due tomorrow because in my time it's tomorrow, and right? So, you know, having that clear deadlines. And then also, you know, scheduling occasional face-to-face meetings, right? Especially for check-ins, right? I know that with our intern program that we ask employers to, you know, continuously supervise our interns. So setting up occasional one-on-one meetings, if, you know, maybe not weekly, but maybe like bi-weekly or whatever that is, that works for both you and your intern. And then if there are particular projects that really benefit from creative collaborations, you know, then scheduling those as a face-to-face meeting. So those are some of the tips in terms of working across different time zones.
Great, Katsumi, thank you. That's very, very thorough and detailed. I appreciate that. Jessica, I believe, is Cane as well. She provided in the chat sort of a takeaway regarding micro internships. And I think it would be just useful if either you, Paul, or Katsumi can talk a little bit about the idea of short projects and be able to utilize interns on a project basis. Maybe you can speak to that concept.
Sure, absolutely. So kind of going back to your previous question in regards to being adaptable, right? So this is one of micro internships, or really is something that has come about as a result of, you know, COVID. And I mean, it was done on a small scale previously, but now it's becoming, you know, much more popular, and companies can get work done that, you know, they may not have been able to get to, or, you know, it's something that it's a short-term project and they just need some help with it. So a micro internship allows students, or, you know, to take on something that might be 10, 20, 40 hours of a project and work on that for a company. And those are micro internships. And that, you know, it can be market research, it can be developing a website. You know, there's a lot of different opportunities that students can take on in regards to micro internships. And again, they're short-term internships that provide, you know, a less lengthy experience for the student that can help to meet an employer's need.
There is obviously a social nature to the work that we do, right? It's about serving young people. And some of the organizations will be equipped to handle, say, you know, marketing projects or say, different kinds of initiatives about systems or strategy, but there's also the opportunity just to work with young people and engage them. And I'm just curious in terms of what your thinking is around interns, where that's a component of the intern experience, where they actually are engaging with young people, they're providing and support around program delivery and things of that nature. Is that something that would be encouraged or possible with this kind of intern relationship?
I think with the appropriate training, absolutely. I think, I had a student this past summer who was working for an organization in the city of Newark, and she helped to develop a substance abuse prevention curriculum. And that curriculum then was worked on in groups and in small mentor type relationships. And she was one of those mentors for students that participated in the program. So the organization that she was interning with gave her the appropriate tools to serve as a virtual mentor and to work directly with the student, children in the city of Newark who were going through the program. So I absolutely think that it's something that the more hands we have, the lighter work for everyone, right? So
exactly.
Having and I can tell you one of our largest majors in the university is psychology. And we get a lot of students who, are looking for opportunities to work directly with people, in areas like this. So I absolutely think it would be an opportunity and something that we could make happen.
Okay, great. Thanks, Paul. So I think I'm looking at the chat board and I'm not seeing any additional questions.
Mark, there is one in the questions around, and maybe you answered this, so sorry, but maybe the challenges that are faced during the pandemic, working with interns and specific things around that.
Okay, do you want to read it? Do you have that up, the ability to read the question? Because I can't see it.
Sure. It says, hello, what are the challenges you faced during the pandemic situation working with interns? And I think Katsumi answered, some of ways to prevent those challenges, right? With time zone and some virtual issues, but maybe anything else that, or Meika, if you want to let us know specifically, if there's something specific around the pandemic you're looking for.
Well, I think that, just to try to answer it a little bit more, communication is like so critical, and just having patience with people and understanding that, in this environment that we're all living in right now, we really don't know what people are going through. So, and trying to do our best to, be patient with them and then communicate and directly get in touch with people in regards to, getting the work done. I can't say that we've had an overwhelming number of students who have faced challenges in the internship as a result of COVID. I think that most of our students have adapted pretty well, but we have had some who just really yearn for that in-person opportunity and they find it challenging to continually be on screens and things like that. So trying to create those social opportunities. So if you've got other staff members that are working virtually and there's opportunities to do a Zoom to connect people with one another, I think that can really be helpful in order to continue to try to have those social opportunities, and so that somebody's not working in isolation all the time. It's hard, and you're trying to do the best we can with the tools that we have.
Great. All right, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. I'm going to check the Q&A section real quickly to see if there's anything else there. I think we've covered all of the questions related to the session. All right. So again, thank you everyone for taking time to join us today. We're approaching that hour. And as I indicated, these are terrific opportunities for us to engage and learn. Thank you, Paul and Kasumi, for taking the time to be with us and also providing the additional resources that our affiliates can tap into regarding pursuing an intern opportunity at their club. And so there's also going to be a short evaluation for all of the attendees to participate in, to give us your feedback, right? We want feedback and opportunities for us to enhance this engagement experience virtually. The recording is going to be posted on the World Federation of Youth Clubs website. So if you missed something or something wasn't clear during the session and you want to go back and listen to it, you can go ahead and do so. And we encourage you to forward it to your colleagues who did not have the opportunity to participate in the webcast today. So the next webcast is going to be in December. Libby, did I miss anything?
Yes, I have someone who wants to ask a question, so I'm going to grant John Paul to talk. So
okay, great.
Here it comes. So I think John Paul, if you unmute yourself, you can ask a question.
John Paul, I believe you're still on mute. Do you have a question? Did we lose him, Liv?
We might have lost him, but
okay.
Maybe if he can do it in the chat quickly before we end, but yeah.
That's right. And if not, I'll circle back with him and get his question.
Okay,
and
perfect.
send it to Paul and Katsumi. But thank you. So with that, it looks like we're wrapping up today. And again, thank you all for your participation wherever you are. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Make it a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you so much for the invite. We really appreciate the opportunity to do this.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Katsumi.